Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. In this video we're going to take a look at the Bitcoin chart, even though not too much has happened, but I nevertheless update you. There was a little bit of volatility ready for the new week, which is great. I did tell you that probably we hopefully will see some more volatility this week. It wasn't a lot though, and the markets officially haven't opened, you know, the other more traditional markets like the stocks and shares market, but I'm sure when they open today there will be some more volatility here. So let's take a look. First of all, Fear and Greed Index, we can see that it's at 23 at the moment, pretty much unchanged to the last time I showed it to you where it was 22. There is further downside possible, but of course upside as well. So in terms of the Fear and Greed Index, we are very, very much in the area where historically you would say it is actually an area for buying, because historically, if you look at the chart, it's normally like long term. If you bought when it was when we were in fear or extreme fear, and you sold when we were here in the sort of greed phases, then you didn't make a mistake typically. But again, it depends. You need to pick the times where it's switching around. Yeah. So when you bought in this uptrend here, that was of course not the best idea. But selling when it is switching around to into pretty much into fear, then this was historically not historically a good time actually. But equally here where we are now very low, but again it can be lower, and we need to wait for that time when it's switching around, back into, not into greed, but more into I don't even know how they call these other phases here, but we'll see. Of course, you've got extreme greed and you've got greed. I think this is neutral in the middle. So yeah, we need to wait for that time when we move around into neutral. So let's go and take a look at the Bitcoin chart, because we had a bit of movement here. As you know, when you follow me, or if you follow me for a while, then you will know that I do expect primarily the price to break out of this triangle to the downside into this yellow area between 20 and 29k. Can't really explain it in too much detail now. I don't have too much time now, but I did that in previous videos and I will do that in the future as well. So for everybody who's new, just subscribe and watch the next videos as well. So it's all related to the Fibonacci levels. It's all related to the Elliott Wave count. That is my primary expectation, and it's related to the chart structure. Of course, it's possible that we break out of this triangle to the upside. If that happens, it will unlock higher prices. That is my alternative. However, it doesn't mean we necessarily go to new all-time highs. No, my expectation then, because we always need to react to what the market is doing, my expectation then would be that we get into this green area here between 55 and 65k, and will then be exhausted and then turn around and eventually fulfill here my primary expectation. Now, what happened here imminently? So it finally happened, what I told you, I think on Thursday or Friday, and we've been waiting for throughout the whole weekend basically. We talked about Bitcoin breaking this ascending trend line. I told you if this is breaking after a retest here, we could see that lower support level, and it has taken now days for that to happen. So that is what I primarily expected, I think on Thursday or Friday here on the, when was that? On the 11th, Friday. We talked about that in a video, that if that breaks, and this was our head and shoulders pattern here, if that breaks, that you could now consolidate. Now this was a fake out, so this is pretty much just confirming that we were on the bearish route here. So this was a fake out to the upside. So we basically then retested here in another attempt that former support as resistance line. Then would have been moving since the 11th of March for until the 13th of March. So we found support here horizontally, because this was one of the areas where we have a lot of historic volume. So the VPVR showed us that this here was an area of trade historically as well, and that is why we found so much support here in this area. Now that did break, and we now finally did get to that level that I did already expect the price to do when we were here, but because of the historic volume, I guess, or maybe because we were exhausted on the 1 hour RSI and the price just couldn't drop much lower, it did find support here twice and 3 times actually, but it was already starting to go down. You could see that here over the last couple of days, making a lower high, and eventually then late yesterday here UK time, it did break to the downside, found support exactly at this triangle, confirming that this triangle support line is a valid one. However, now you are seeing that counter reaction to the upside, again, because it was oversold. We can see how throughout on the 1 hour chart, the RSI has been in the bearish range. So this is not bullish, of course. So at times we had even a breakdown to 37.5. Now that was exactly the support level that we highlighted in the last video as well. And I did tell you, if we see that break, because there has not been a lot of support, and also the VPVR, I think, does not show us a lot of support here along the way. So you can see that if we break that last support level here, yes, there's a bit of support here around 36.8. Yeah, but then you can fall quite strongly. Last time that happened, we did fall here directly to the 34.5K level. And that is the one that I'm watching out for, that we need to get beyond in order to confirm our primary expectation more and more. But we really only get certainty if we really dive into the target area, of course. But it's getting more likely the lower we go. And at the moment, of course, we're coming lower here. And yeah, let's see if we break that. That is the level that we need to break to really move into the direction of the primary expectation here. So yeah, at the moment in a range between the support line of the triangle and the resistance line, which is at 39.7K. Having struggles, however, to get beyond 39.2 at the moment. And even here, Bitcoin it looks a bit like it's starting to roll over again. And the reason for that is on the 1 hour chart. If we take a look at that again, we were not able to get above 50 here since the 10th of March. And if we're finding again here at the 50 level of the RSI on the 1 hour chart, there's a good chance it's starting to roll over. You can also see that long wick to the upside here on the hourly chart, confirming that we were basically not able to get beyond 39K again. So it could really roll over, retest that once more, the 37.7K. And if that is lost, then you see 36.8 and then 34.5 in the next instance. So that is what I see here at the moment. The 20-day moving average still above the price. Of course, the EMA ribbon as well on the 1 hour chart here. Price cannot get beyond it. And that is also one reason why the price did find resistance here, because of that EMA ribbon. And yeah, we talked about it yesterday as well, about that Bollinger Band, which was getting very, very squeezed, and that you were seeing that you were going to see here a little bit of volatility. Yeah, because it can't forever stay so squeezed. And there you go. It basically widened the Bollinger Bands again. So whenever you have that long area of just sideways move, you are going to see here some volatility. Now that is pretty much what we can see at the moment in the chart here. Certainly that 50 level of the RSI on the 1 hour chart is very interesting. Overall, we have still to be patient and wait for the breakout. But even on the 4 hour chart, you are first of all below the EMA ribbon. You are here in the bearish range on the RSI below 50, but further downside potential possible. The MACD is pretty much moving sideways. On the daily, before we finish the video, what does it show you? Again, more downside potential possible, absolutely. Still in the bearish range at 46, and there is still a lot of scope if we fall to maybe even down to 20 on the RSI. Yeah? The MACD as well, we talked about it yesterday, that it was getting negative. It was building negative momentum again, and that has not changed. So yeah, it will be an interesting week, I'm sure. And as I said, the market can't forever move sideways. In this triangle, there is much more room. I mean, this can drag into June, which doesn't mean it needs to. Typically, these triangles break before, and often they break when it's not expected. So yeah, looking here generally, as I said, generally for further downside. But of course, if we move beyond 39.7, then I do expect quite a strong move all the way up to 42.5, because also in this area here in the middle, there has not been a lot of resistance and support. In the last few times we broke that 39.7K level to the upside, there was quite a strong move to the top of that range at 42.7. That's my view here on Bitcoin at the moment. Hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button. Yeah, leave a subscribe as well and a comment for the algorithm. And if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.